Holy shit.
So here's what I have to do. Shower and shave. Oh, I've already done that. Fill the car, go to the shops, shoot gear video, pack the gear, edit and upload this video. Oh, it's gonna be a long fucking day. Go. First stop, fuel and tire pressure. It's a long drive, it's about a 3-hour drive, so I need to make sure that the car is good to go. COVID is a big deal, and it's impacted us in a huge way. It's affected many people. All we can do is just remain positive, be responsible, and hope that in the not too distant future things begin to return to normal. That's all we can hope and pray for. It's a tough time. The world is a strange place. Good morning, guys. Total change of plan. I actually had my days even more mixed up than I thought. Last night at about 8:30 I got the phone call to ask where I was. They were expecting me for check-in yesterday, but just as well it actually worked out in my favor. Last night we had some heavy rain. The wind has been pumping through the night. Today as well, very gloomy day. Had I left yesterday, I would have had to endure 2 days of rain. So according to the weather report, it is clearing by tomorrow, and for the rest of the week I will have some good weather. So small price to pay, but like I say, it works out in my favor. Bit tricky this morning. Got up at 6, packed all my gear. I even had the kitty come and say goodbye. Yesterday I tried to film a gear video, but it was a total disaster. I scrapped the idea completely, and I'm thinking what I'll do on this camping trip, I'll just go through the gear in stages with you, show you what I have. Other than that, you'll see I'm wearing the mask. It's only because I'm still in the city. We do have a lot of police that patrol, and it is a requirement to wear the mask. Silly even in the car, but can't argue with the authorities. Sometimes we just have to abide by the rules. But once I'm out of town and I'm out on the open highway, then of course I'll take the mask off. I am going to stay responsible. I will be using hand sanitizer. I will maintain a safe distance from people, i.e. social distancing. So although, you know, the economy is open, although things are now starting to return to normal, we still have to take precautions, and we still have to remember that COVID-19, it is still very much here and a big reality in society. So we don't want to do anything silly, and we don't want to expose ourselves unnecessarily. In terms of the drive, raining quite heavy, roads are super slick, so I'm going to take my time. This is why I've left a little bit earlier. I'm going to be going up the National 7 along the west coast, northerly direction, to a town called Clanwilliam. From there I'll have to Google map it. I'm going to be heading over a small mountain range and to an area sort of north of the Cederberg mountain range. I think it still falls just inside the nature reserve, but it's a small private farm. It's called Enjo They have a few camping sites, very spread apart, very isolated. So I'm looking forward to this little adventure. But for now, the main objective is just to get there safely, try and get there early enough so that I do have ample time to set up camp. This afternoon, more rain is expected at about 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 8 o'clock this evening, and again at midnight. So if I can get there early enough, set up camp, get the food going, at least by the time the rain comes, I'll be settled in and protected. Anyway, I'll get back with you soon.
Baby, I'm a fighter, never back it down. Baby, I'm a soldier, standing my ground. So if you're gonna find me for my heart, all you're gonna get is battle scars. Baby, I'm a tiger, 27. Baby, I'm a rifle, one bike is dead.
Die lewe is 'n motorbaan en ek ry dit heel nag lank. Copyright that, YouTube.
Find me for my heart, all you're gonna get is battle scars.
What can I say? I need more than desire, more than just a pretty face. So girl, you better walk away. Oh yeah, only one love at the side of the fire. Someone who can handle me, someone got your heart to me. Oh yeah. If you try to come closer, I'ma give you some closure.
Alright, just a quick update. I eventually made it through to Enjo. It was a terrible gravel road, but totally worth it in the end. And very impressed with the place. It's a beautiful farm. It's nestled between the mountains, really out in the middle of nowhere, so complete and utter isolation. Lovely lady who met me at reception. She was kind enough to show me around and then bring me down to the campsite. I'm currently at campsite number 2. There are some other people here as well. They're staying in a cottage just up behind me, but we are still very separated and very private from each other. I wanted to film the setting up of camp, but it was a total disaster. The wind is really pumping and behaving like an absolute bitch, so it was difficult with the tarp, even the fly of the tent, but I eventually got it right. I had to actually pull the car behind the tent just to get some shelter from the wind. I'd also like to show you around the campsite, but maybe better we do that in the morning when, well, hopefully if the wind decides to die down. Tonight I was planning on doing a fire, doing some steak on a fire, but with this wind I very much think that's a bad idea. So I may have to limit myself to 2-minute noodles or instant oats in the tent. Also, the temperature has dropped. The forecast was 7 Celsius. It feels a lot colder. The rain up until now has held off, but it's still very black and gloomy over the mountains on the other side of me. So I do anticipate it's just a matter of time before that wall of water comes rushing through. But I think at this stage, priority now is just to get out of the wind, get into the tent, maybe do some editing, and I'll catch up with you again later. It's raining, the wind has picked up. It's even worse now than it was before. We're camping now. This is the little cook system that I use. This is just a small little gas canister with a little stove. And then of course the 750ml pot and the smaller sauce pot or saucepan on top that acts as a lid. And of course my little cookser. And then an oak carved spoon. And my wooden cutting board that also doubles as a plate. Day one complete. The wind is still pumping, but I'm super snug and I'm ready to call it a day. Cheers guys, see you in the morning. Oh, that's the campsite just there behind me. I've just come a little bit up the hill and already I'm out of breath. Unfit. 3 months isolation, baby. So the tent that I'm using is the 4-season 2-man Helio tent from First Ascent. It is a single split pole configuration and the design is quite similar to the Big Agnes, but it is a tent that is built to withstand harsher conditions, and even with the pumping wind last night the tent was an absolute champ. Super happy with it. So people from First Ascent, if you are watching, I really dig your product, man. Three months in quarantine. I'm unfit. COVID, you bitch. My calves are on fire. I did say that I'd show you some of the gear that I brought with me on this trip, so I figured let me quickly show you what I'm carrying on my person. Right here, easy access, some hand sanitizer, obviously my car keys. At the back here, this is my hunting knife. It's 420 stainless steel, 9-inch full tang blade, wooden handle. And then in this little pouch, this is a utility tool from a company called Zartec. It's a glass breaker, it's a torch, but it's also a stun gun. This is not suggesting that it's a dangerous place, although when traveling solo, it's always important to take precautions. But more so, this is a big mountainous area, and of course there are many wild baboon troops, and the campsite alone is very isolated, and I'm cooking with food, so I don't want to wake up in the middle of the night to find baboons trying to get into my tent. It's really more of a deterrent than anything else. Incidentally, this is the G7X Mark II that I'm currently filming on. Awesome vlogging camera with the rear flip-up screen. The only downside, it doesn't have a jack for external audio, so it does pick up a lot of wind noise. I know that Canon released the latest one, the Mark III, and that is now upgraded with jack for external mic. But this camera currently is sitting on a Joby 3K GorillaPod. Yeah. So that's obviously a baboon troop that's moving through the canyon behind me, and what I'm hearing are the calls from the dominant alpha male, but they are still pretty far off. Morning guys, day 3. Woke up to yet another spectacular sunrise. Had some instant oats for breakfast, quickly tore down camp. Sad to be leaving Enjo, but it is time to move on to the next destination. I'm off to Jamaka today. I do have to renegotiate this terrible gravel road, 26 kilometers. But once I get into the town of Clanwilliam, I'll just stop at the shop and pick up some supplies. Beautiful day today, just a few puffs of cloud about. Not a breath of wind, nice and warm, sun's out, birds are chirping. It's almost like a spring day.
Baby, I'm a fighter, never backing down. Baby, I'm a soldier, standing my ground. So if you're gonna find me for my heart, all you gonna get is battle scars. Baby, I'm a tiger, 27. Baby, I'm a rifle, one bite is dead. If you're gonna find me for my heart, all you gonna get is battle scars.
What can I say any more than desire? More than just a pretty face. So girl, you better walk away. Oh yeah. Only one love at the side of the fire. Someone who can handle me.
So the axe that I'm using is the medium grind Scandinavian forest axe. It was forged in Sweden at Hultafors, and it has the American made hickory handle. So don't get me wrong, I really love the site where I'm at now, but the only problem is there's too much shade and very little sun. This morning when I woke up, the whole inside of the tent was completely soaked with condensation, and tomorrow I want to leave at about 10:30. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm just going to move to a more sunny spot. The sleep system that I'm using is the Thermarest Neo Air Insulating Pad. This is the Venture. The K-Way Traverse 2 sleeping bag with a comfort rating of 5 to 10 Celsius and a cheap inflatable pillow. Yeah, it's a motherfucking piece of shit. I hate it. It's been a very relaxing afternoon. I've just been chilling in camp doing absolutely nothing, enjoying the peace and tranquility of the place, but this river that's running by is also extremely hypnotic. The power seems to be out, so I can't charge my camera batteries, and this camera is about to die. So I'm just going to have some pasta, cup of coffee, watch the last of the sun go down, and then call it a night. Unless anything exciting happens during the night, I'm going to say good night, and I will see you tomorrow.
Never backing down. Maybe I'm a soldier, standing my ground. So if you're gonna find me from my heart, all you gonna get is battle scars. Maybe I'm a tiger, 27. Maybe I'm a rifle from my set. Find me from my heart.
Morning guys, I slept really well, woke up just after 8, had breakfast, packed up camp. I'm now back on the gravel road to Clanwilliam, and then from there the long haul to Cape Town. I should be home around about 3:30, and if I'm being honest, the first thing that I'm going to do is have my car washed. She is filthy and my OCD radar is completely off the charts. The last 4 days has been super awesome. I've really enjoyed it. It's been fun filming this video. If you've enjoyed watching the video, please support me by smashing that like button, but also let me know in the comments below if you would like to see me do more of these camping type videos. Perhaps I can sleep in a bivy on the beach or do some stealth camping up in the mountains. It would be interesting to see your comments. But as always, thanks for watching, thanks for the support, and I will see you again in the next video. Cheers.
Never backing down. Maybe I'm a soldier, standing my ground. So if you're gonna find me from my heart, all you gonna get is battle scars. Maybe I'm a tiger, 27. Maybe I'm a rifle from biking dead. So if you're gonna find me from my heart, all you gonna get is battle scars.
What can I say? I need more than desire, more than just a pretty face. So girl, you better walk away.